Hello, this is Blue Star, Defender of Equestria, and this is my AfterThoughts review to The Sounds of Silence. The silence was definitely deafening in this episode, but overall, I really liked this episode. Roar! Unfortunately, when I first watched this episode, I was just flaming mad. I feel like I could turn into a Kieran and just light things on fire and just like roar. So yeah, unfortunately, I was not really in a very good state of mind when I first watched this episode. But now I've had an opportunity to watch it a few times. It's like, I love this episode, it's great. Even though the first half of this episode is awful. Let's start off with the crazy guy at the trade. I like maniacal laughter too, but it's like, just stay away from me, you crazy pony. That guy needs to get out more. Along with a lot of other creatures in this season. This could be a trend. It also seems to be a trend that if you manage to survive the first half of the episode, you'll be rewarded by the second half. Unfortunately, I really didn't like Applejack during this episode because I feel like she's just culturally insensitive. It's like, you don't know anything about these creatures, you know, why they're not talking, you know, you don't even know if they can talk to begin with, and you're trying to force them to talk. That's not very nice. But I can understand her frustration, though. It's like, what? We're here to solve a friendship problem, and we can't even talk with them? That's gonna make this kind of hard. But I do like that Applejack has had the realization that if this was easy, it wouldn't be a friendship quest. As once said by Captain Dylan Hunt from the Starship Andromeda, nothing worth doing is easy. But I do like the Kira themselves. They look like ponies, but their like backs are like armored and stuff. I think that's just kind of cool. I like it. So yo! It is always nice to have new creatures and new designs being inserted into the show. I really liked Autumn Blaze. She was great. She was so much fun. I think Silverstream and her should get together. They would have so much in common. It's been so long since I've had the opportunity to talk that I don't even remember how to pronounce some words anymore. So, no! It feels like there's a lot of creatures in this episode and this season that need to get out more, so... So I could totally understand why she's all like, you know, talking and like, just like, let me blah, 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 and everything, because she hasn't had any of her pony to talk to in a really long time. It is an interesting thought. The Kieran obviously don't have much experience talking to other ponies and creatures that can talk, but it seems like after all this time they would have somehow worked some of this out and figured out how do you communicate when you can't talk, but oh well, whatever. This is kind of why it was important for Fluttershy to come, because she's the quote-unquote communications expert, particularly with creatures that may not necessarily be able to talk back to her, so I think that was good. I mean, that was sort of the sub-point of this episode, is that, have faith! It may not make sense to you now, but it will in time. What? You want to send me to the perilous peaks where creatures that nobody's seen in ages and... Can't you send someone who's a little less shy, and a little bit more brave or something? Because this place scares me. They were totally the right ponies to go on this, because I guess Applejack is just stubborn. No, I will find a Kieran that will talk! And Fluttershy is much more calm and much more understanding and has better communication skills and is much more patient, in meaning that she might actually find something out from the Kieran even though she can't talk to them directly. Because like in a lot of things, sometimes you can't just be one thing, sometimes you have to be both. Sometimes you need to be patient and understanding, and sometimes you need to be stubborn and say, no, I will find the truth, I will make you talk. But as always, the problem is how much and when. That song was awesome, I love it, it's great! It's definitely going on my favorite songs list, because it's so true. And at first I thought, I'm not really sure I relate to this, but no, I totally relate to this. Because what they're afraid of is saying something to somebody else, people getting hurt and getting mad, and just sending it into a flame war. It's like, oh, the flames everywhere! Now, this is what I call a flame war. On the internet, I'm glad that flame wars are fought with text and not flames, because that would be painful and dangerous and it is a pretty common fear, you know, of that you'll say something to somebody and one or more people are gonna get hurt, and I definitely identify with this. Unfortunately, this is often why I don't speak up and talk to other people a lot, because I feel like, oh, I'll say something to them and it won't go well, and then everybody's feelings will just get hurt. And then I just want to just go away and stuff, so yeah. So I can understand how the Kieran feel, and not to mention they have every reason to be concerned about this, because when their feelings get hurt and they get mad, they literally turn into flaming mad creatures that light fire to everything in sight. So yeah, that could be very problematic, so... Unfortunately, more than just feelings could get hurt with that, so oh dear. They have a legitimate problem, and I do have to say that flame wars are not fun. One time, it definitely got to the point of, alright, this has gone on far enough. Just everybody just stop, okay? And I think, unfortunately, that was the conclusion that the leader made. It's like, okay, you know what? Everyone just stop talking! And that's the first instinct, but that's obviously not the correct one. I don't want you to stop talking ever. I just want you to stop fighting on this particular subject or something. So, still having that feeling of, there's a lot more I should really talk about this, but I can't really think of anything right now, and things are just like, blah. It's like, parts of me almost feel like this could be focus on video worthy, because yeah, it's an interesting problem. But I totally agree with the sentiment of the song, which is that you can't let the fear of something going wrong, you know, stop you from being happy and stuff, because that would be sad, because it's gonna happen. People's feelings are going to get hurt. Things are not going to be perfect. You got to deal with the rain in order to see the rainbow. So I thought that was great. I mean, especially in a show where it's usually butterflies and rainbows. Everything's fine. Nothing ever goes wrong. I mean, not in this show. Generally, when you think MLP, you think butterflies and rainbows. Nothing could ever possibly go wrong. Of course, in this show, that's far from the truth. I think it is good for a show like this to acknowledge that, you know what, not everything is going to be butterflies and rainbows, and everything's going to work out perfectly. Yeah, sometimes you're going to be mad, and you're going to have to learn how to deal with it the right way. Instead of lashing out at people, you know, maybe go somewhere, just, you know, and just let it out. And I do like that point of, you know, it's not having anger isn't bad, just like being afraid isn't bad. It's what do you do with it and how do you deal with it. If you let that fear stop you from doing whatever it is you're doing, that's bad. But if you're afraid and you keep doing whatever it is you need to do, then that's okay. But in the case of anger, it's like, as long as you're not directing that anger towards someone and trying to hurt them, that's okay. So I think that was kind of the sub-point of all that. Yeah, when we get mad, we may feel like we want to burst into flames and light things on fire, but fortunately that doesn't happen in the real world. So that feels kind of odd, but yeah, I think that sentiment though of when you get angry, just want to go out and hurt other people and stuff, but no, the right way to deal with this is go off, be mad, deal with it then and stuff, and don't direct it towards other people, and then everything will be fine. I definitely liked this episode. I thought the song was really, really good. And I did like the reference to the Phantom of the Opera. That was just so great. Yeah, I really liked this episode. It was really good. I mean, unfortunately for me, I have to survive the first half and get to the beginning of that song. And then everything's great. And I just love this episode. Because I think in short, I do relate to this episode and to relate to this problem. And I think this is a problem that I think people do understand and can relate to. And I think it handled it pretty well. And yet another awesome song added to the MLP library of songs. So yes, and a whole bunch of new creatures too. So yo-ho. So I really, really liked this episode. I thought it was really cool. And I hope that we get to see the Kyrans some more. Especially now that they can talk and everything. Although, Autumn Blaze, get out of that fountain! That's their drinking water! Knock it off! So that is the end of my afterthought review of The Sounds of Silence. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and until next time, this is Blue Star. Stay strong, and pony on. Blue Star out.